Hi guys, and today we're going to be looking at an older loco, just to give some variant, because you know, new locos is not all of everything. It's the old ones are just as good as the new ones, and this is a Hornby Collectors Club from 2016, I believe. There was you could buy them at a silly price, like £40. I bought two. I bought this one, and it's early liveried one, which is Whitechapel, which is basically that loco, which is Sutton, as a pre-grouping locomotive. It was a nice touch. Did annoy me with what happened with the locos afterwards from Hornby, but yeah, so I thought I'd show you what it's all about. I don't expect too much modern-wise from these, because the tooling stems back from the depot days, I believe. So it's a good 20-30 years old. And as you probably know, Hornby in 2019 retooled it to go head-to-head with Rails of Sheffield and Depot. So yeah, and this is Sutton, and it's in the K&ERS livery. I think it's a Kent and East Sussex Railway, and this is, like I said, Sutton. As we start off at the front of the locomotive, the vacuum pipe already came fitted, as you can see. You can see the number of the locomotive. This is number 10. The buffer beam is in red. The buffers are in black. There's the hook there, which I believe might be the only thing separately applied-ish on the front. Most of it's pretty moulded. There's no lamp irons to talk about. A lot of these on the new one. We have a smoke box dart on the front, which is moulded, along with the hinges as well. We do have a separate applied handrail, might be a little bit oversized, but it's not too bad. The buffers are plastic, may I add. As we move on to the side of the locomotive, we have some piping down here which is moulded, but it's been painted in two different colours, which is great. We also have a builder's plate down here, which I can't read. Moving along, we have the look at the name of the loco, which is Sutton. We also have the railway it runs on. It's Preserve One, I believe, and it's Kent and East Sussex Railway. I believe that's correct. We have some lining along the chassis as well. As for the lining itself on the loco, on the boiler, it's pretty nice with the stripes. I think it's white and black. But as for the side tanks, I think they bleed a little bit. I think that's the correct word. They're not perfect. Well, they're not on mine anyway. As we move across to the bunker itself, we do have the number and name on the loco as well. And the lining does seem to be a little better on there. There's some details on the splashes, like I said. There's separately applied pipes on top. Some look to be moulded, some don't. They are oversized. Safety valves and whistles are there. I think they're plastic as well. We also have some lining around the windows on the outside. Failing that, it's not a bad looking loco. As we move on to the other side of the locomotive, we do have some steps. We do have the other side as well, did forget to mention that. We also have the piping down here. There's no fine detail like there is on the new 2020 version of the TERRIER by Hornby. The bleeding on the tanks doesn't seem to be on this one. Well, on this side anyway. It could be just a one-off. We do have I believe a Westinghouse pump too on this side. Failing that, there's no real difference. We've got the brake rigging as well, and we've got the wheels in a nice colour, and the axles don't seem to be covered. You can see the metal there through them. As we move on to the cabio, there's not really much to see. It's all moulded, there's nothing painted. There's glazing in the windows, which is a good thing. There's no wood effect, but it's a nice try, saying it's a really old tooling of a model. As we move on to the back of the locomotive, much like the front, pretty much moulded. Even the grating for the windows looks to be moulded as well, but it is separately painted. In gold, it does look nice. There's some lining around here as well. We've got it around the bunker and around the back of the cab. Like I said, the buffers are plastic. They're not sprung or anything like that. We have a hook and we have a vacuum pipe as well. And then we have the coupling, which is the screw-in medium ones. I'm saying that it's not too bad for its age. As we move on to the top of the locomotive, as you can see, the coal load isn't too bad. It isn't removable, but it isn't too bad, saying it's a really old model. You can also see the couplings, which are the, like I said, the screwing ones, medium type. You can also see the pipe work a bit more better from up here, as well as the water caps as well. We also have the lining, which you can see a bit more clearly now. Look at it, it's white, black and white. And the chimney isn't too bad. And finally, as we move on to the underneath of the locomotive, as you can tell, the couplings are screwed in. They're the medium type, you have to get screwed out to unscrew them. I'm not too sure what the other lot are for. I think it's to keep the motor in place. You can see a cog where you oil it to help the motor. We have all pickups on the wheels. There's only 6 wheels, so we'll pickups on all of them. We also have the brake rigging, which is moulded on. So yeah guys, that's it on the tracks. As you can see, it's on the inner circle. So no second radius test, because I'm just going to run a second radius. But there will be a points test, and here it comes. A little fast, stumbled, but it made it. A little high, 41. So next up will be some slow speed running, and I'll find it a train, and I'll see you at the end. So here it goes. I made it across them points. A little high for me, 42. Not bad though, a little high. Old loco, I don't know. A little unsure. Not bad for DC. So guys, that's the end of the running session. Next up, I'll give you my opinion on the loco. Before that, we'll have a look at the rolling stock. The rolling stock, I didn't know what to run with it. It's a preserved locomotive, I believe, and I wasn't sure what to run. So I just went for generic stock, in short. Hornby 4 and 6 wheeled Great Western baggage, third brake. Then the old-fashioned Great Western coaches that Hornby's doing, in another third brake. I don't think it looks too bad. Okay, them two there are too tall, but not all pre-grouping coaches were the same. It's the way I see it. It looks okay. It ran pretty well after it got going, but I wouldn't run it for too long because it gets hot. And it's the old tooling as well. But take nothing away from it, I would recommend these to anybody who's starting out in the hobby. That goes for the railroad Bagnall shunter as well, and the J38 that Hornby do. They're a great way to get people into the hobby and learn new skills. For someone who's disabled like myself and has motor skills in my hand and has learning difficulties, got brain damage, I've learned a lot with these sort of older models. I've learned how to add details, take stuff off, even service them. I know people out there, they're like, well, we can do it anyway, but for me it's a challenge, and I've learned a lot. So I would highly recommend these, even for youngsters. So yeah, I would highly recommend these. You can buy them at a reasonable price. This cost me £45. It was a Hornby Collectors Club deal they had, and then I got Whitechapel, which is the same model and the same real loco, but in its proper pre-grouping London, Brighton, South Coast Railway livery. So yeah, I would highly recommend these. They're okay, they're great runners, no issues. Like I said, you can learn a lot from them. I'll shut up now and let you think. So yeah, so if you've got any comments or questions, please let me know, and I'll try my best to answer them, but I highly recommend these for anybody. Anyway guys, until the next review or next video, please take care and goodbye.